Hi everybody! It's time for story time with Mrs. Hill. And today our special guest is Avery. And also we have Lady Ruffy. We are reading, what book is it, Avery?
Mercy Watson.
Mercy Watson Goes for a Ride. All right, so Mercy Watson Goes for a Ride. So we already read chapters 1 through 5, and we learned that Mercy really wants to sit in the driver's seat of the car, right? That's not the page, but she really wants to sit in the driver's seat, but she shouldn't drive, right? Pigs aren't supposed to drive. So they go on their drive, and Eugenia Lincoln thinks it is folly that pigs should not go for rides in automobiles. We're starting on chapter 5. You don't have to get that close, baby. Back up just a little. Okay. One Saturday, Mrs. Watson made a special lunch. After lunch, Mr. Watson and Mercy went outside. Everything happened just as it always did every Saturday on Decawoo Drive. "What folly," said Eugenia Lincoln as usual. "What nonsense." She paused. Eugenia waited for Baby to say, "Yes, sister." But Baby said nothing. Baby said nothing because Baby was not there. Hey, Baby, come on.
Sorry.
Can you see the book?
Yeah.
Okay, chapter 6. Officer Tomilello sat in his police cruiser. A pink convertible sped past him. "Was that a pig?" Officer Tomilello asked himself. "Yes, it was," he answered himself. "That most certainly was a pig." "Is it illegal to take a pig for a ride?" Officer Tomilello asked himself. "I don't believe it is," he answered himself. "It is unusual," he continued, "but unusual does not equal illegal. However, it is illegal to speed, and that vehicle was definitely speeding." Officer Tomilello turned on his flashing lights. He pulled out onto the highway. He followed the car with the pig in it. Chapter 7. In the car with the pig in it, the pig was having a very good time. The wind was tickling her ears. The sun was warm on her snout. Even though she was not the one behind the wheel, Mercy was happy. Mr. Watson was happy too. "There's nothing like a fast drive to clear the mind," he shouted. "Isn't that right, my dear?" "Oink," said Mercy. "It is wonderful." Oh, I'm sorry. This is a different character. This is Baby. "It is wonderful to go fast," said a voice from the back seat. "Who was that?" said Mr. Watson. "Me," said Baby Lincoln. Mr. Watson looked over his shoulder. "Hello, Mr. Watson," said Baby. "Oink," said Mercy. "Hello, Mercy," said Baby. "What are you doing?" shouted Mr. Watson. "I'm having a little adventure," said Baby. "I am indulging in some folly." "Folly?" said Mr. Watson. Mercy narrowed her eyes. Mr. Watson was looking over his shoulder at Baby. He was not looking at the road. Mercy saw her chance. She gathered her strength. She leaped. "Oomph! Help!" Mr. Watson said. "Help me!" "Oh, goodness gracious, that is so dangerous." "Whee!" said Baby Lincoln. "What folly! What fun! What adventure!" "Please," said Mr. Watson, "get off me!" He pushed at Mercy with both hands, but Mercy did not move. She put her front hooves on the steering wheel. She was in the driver's seat, and she intended to stay there. Chapter 8. Back on Decawoo Drive, Eugenia Lincoln was looking for Baby. She looked in Baby's bed. Baby was not there. She looked on the back step. Baby was not there either. "Baby!" shouted Eugenia. "Reveal yourself at once!" But Baby did not reveal herself. Stop chewing. Stop. "Where could she be?" said Eugenia. "And why do I think this has something to do with that pig?" Eugenia marched next door. She rang the Watsons' bell. You gotta stop chewing your gum. I'm sorry. Our videographer is also chewing gum. No, just ignore that. She rang the Watsons' bell. "Mrs. Watson." "Oh, Mrs. Watson," said Eugenia. Baby is missing." "Goodness," said Mrs. Watson. "And I believe that your pig is responsible," said Eugenia. "Mercy?" said Mrs. Watson. "Yes," said Eugenia, "exactly." "But Mercy is not here," said Mrs. Watson. "She is on her Saturday ride with Mr. Watson." Eugenia turned and looked down the road. "Folly," she said. "Heavens," said Mrs. Watson. "You don't think—" Are you paying attention? "I do think," said Eugenia. "That is my point exactly. I do think. And apparently, I am the only one around here who does." Stop. All right, chapter 9. I think this will be our last chapter. Officer Tomilello had to go very fast to catch up with the convertible. The officer had to speed. "Is that vehicle swerving?" Officer Tomilello asked himself. "It is," he answered himself. "It is most definitely swerving." "Is the driver of that vehicle breaking the law?" Officer Tomilello asked. "Without a doubt," he answered. "The law is being broken. It is time to take action." Officer Tomilello pulled up alongside the car. He shouted into his bullhorn, "Pull over!" The driver turned. The driver looked at him. The driver oinked. "Is that pig behind the wheel?" Officer Tomilello asked himself. "Yes," he answered himself. "Yes, that pig is most definitely behind the wheel." Again, Officer Tomilello shouted into his bullhorn, "Pull over! Pigs cannot drive cars! Pull over immediately!" He is absolutely correct," said Mr. Watson. "Pigs cannot drive cars, and I would like to pull over, but I can no longer feel my legs. Therefore, I cannot step on the brake pedal. Therefore, I cannot stop this car." "Oh dear," said Baby. "I think we are in trouble." Oh, chapter 10. Okay, back up. We're gonna stop there. Don't go too far. Come here. We're gonna stop there. I hope you liked it. And tune in tomorrow and we'll read some more. I hope you all had a good day. You're not zooming in real close, right, Avery? You are trouble. She is trouble. Have a good day and see you tomorrow.